Have you guys ever had a goal you want to achieve and you missed it? Hey, we've all been there. In this video, I'm going to give you guys the process I use to accomplish a transformational goal from being in the worst shape of my life to accomplishing an ultimate beach picture of my dreams. Also, stick around to the end because I'm going to show you guys exactly what I learned from achieving the goal and a big surprise reveal at the end. So before we get into the process, let me set the stage a little bit. So this goal has a couple different things. The first being I always wanted to grow my hair out, and never really had an opportunity to do that. Since I was a little kid, my dad always was like, guys with long hair, ew, no, you can't do that. He just forbid it. And then I went into the military, so obviously no long hair there. And I got into a financial service field very young, so I felt if I'm gonna be investing people's money, I should probably look very professional. So I wanted to make sure that I looked the part. So I didn't grow my hair because the process and that not gonna work. So my second goal was I wanted to get back into shape, and it had been about 2 years since COVID happened, and I just let myself go. A really good weight for me was between 178 and 182 at about 5'10", and I just felt terrible. I had gotten all the way up to about 217, almost 220 pounds, and I was eating terrible. I was having fast food like every other night, and then having dinner after the fast food snack on the way home from work. So it was just not a good lifestyle. I felt terrible, I felt slow, my joints hurt, just everything about me just didn't really feel good. My doctor was giving me the talk, you guys know the talk, so it just wasn't a good time. I really wanted to make sure that I got back in shape and just felt good about myself again. So the major catalyst for me getting into shape and planning this goal was my mom decided that she was going to take the whole family to Hawaii. She let us know in July of 2021, and we were going to go in April of 2022. So as you can see right now, I'm sitting out on a cruise ship in beautiful Maui, ported here while I'm filming this. So obviously I hit my goal, and let me show you guys the process on how we went about it. So what was my goal? My goal was to get back into shape and have long hair and get a picture on the beach with a surfboard looking like Aquaman coming out of the water or something like that. So I wanted to look good, I wanted to have the long hair and, you know, the movie star look, all that stuff. So I got my beach picture, and here's the process that I had. And I'll show you guys that picture a little bit later in the video. Now, this is a finance channel, and normally I talk about financial stuff, and this goal setting process, or this process that I follow, allows you to do this for any type of goal. It doesn't matter if it's a savings goal, a get out of debt goal, or a health goal. I just happen to be doing a health goal this time, but for the most part, you can use this process for anything. So the first step in the process is to set an image in your mind of exactly what you want and have the feeling of how it's gonna feel once you accomplish that goal or while you're in that process. So for me, I just imagine myself on the beach with long hair, getting my picture taken, holding the surfboard, seeing a flat stomach with ripped abs or whatever it was, and wanted to make sure that that was the image that constantly stuck in my mind the entire time. I even had a mantra, abs by April. So that was kind of the thing. The second step in the process is to break down your goal into smaller pieces, checkpoints or little waypoints that you can use to measure your progress along the way. If you just try to shoot for the big goal and don't have checkpoints, it may be more difficult to hit during that process. So for example, for this goal for me is I needed to lose about 40 pounds in order to get into that area. I had 8 months to do it, and it was about 5 pounds a month. So as long as I was losing 5 pounds a month, I knew I was on track. Now, if you're saving and you're trying to hit a big savings goal or a debt goal, you can break that down into smaller increments of, you know, I have X amount of debt paid off, or I've saved $50 a month every single month. So use those little checkpoints as you go. So the third step in the process, now that you know your goal, is to create a plan and a deadline to hit those goals and those small checkpoints. And now the fourth step in the process is to evaluate your plan and break it down into small increments and habits that you can start one habit at a time. If you try to start too many things at once, it'll be very difficult and you'll get overwhelmed during that process. For example, when I was using my weight loss goal, I picked just drinking a gallon of water a day, and that was the only thing I changed for the first 2 weeks. And then eventually I added exercise, then eventually I cut sugar, then eventually I started doing other things. But the process was one small habit at a time, and that's the major secret. If you try to do too many things at once, you're gonna fail and it's not gonna work for you. So step 5, just put it into action. Start. Pick that first habit that you're gonna do and start. Then, after a month, evaluate, check your first checkpoint, and see how you did. Adjust as you need to. The 6th part of the plan is to always have your vision in mind. So whether you take 2 to 5 minutes every day and sit and visualize what it's gonna feel like to be out of debt, what it's gonna feel like to have that certain savings, what it's gonna feel like to hit your weight loss goal, and the image that you're going to have in the process. So sit in your mind, imagine it, what it's gonna look like, and how is it gonna feel. Put yourself in the feeling and really generate that feeling in your body. Do that for 2 to 5 minutes every day, and that's the 6th step, and that's probably the most important one of all the steps. All right, guys, so that was my process. There was 6 steps on how to achieve your goals. It really worked for me. Here's an example of before, and here's the picture of the beach that I am so proud that I got. I worked so hard for this, and it was great. So you guys can accomplish your goals too, but now, as also promised, here's what I learned from hitting my goal. Because it's not just about hitting the goals, it's what did you learn from the process? So the first thing I learned from doing this whole process was that the imagery portion was probably the most important. As I was going through and meditating every day, really picturing myself, it really kept me with the motivation in order to keep going to hit my goal. The second thing that I learned was it wasn't really hitting the goal that was the exciting part. It was the process of going through and accomplishing and the work that I put in. It really became a lifestyle change for me. And for that, it was probably the most important and fulfilling part. And that's what I really learned. It's not necessarily the goal, it's the process on what gets you there, and the person you become in order to achieve and hit that goal. So the last thing that I learned is that as much as I love the look of long hair, it is a royal pain in the butt, and I absolutely hate managing it. I mean, it's flying everywhere, it's tied back, it's not really doing what it's supposed to do here, the wind's blowing it all around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going downstairs tonight and I'm gonna get my hair cut. So here's the big reveal and big surprise. So after 2 years of growing my hair out, always wanted to do it, and now we're finally taking it off because this is annoying and it sucks. I met this lovely lady, Brandy.
Hey,
she's gonna be helping out, taking this all. This is the new look going forward, so I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. Old mountain man version or young clean cut version. Put in the comments below. Also like and subscribe, and if you're enjoying this beautiful view of the Pali Coast, also make a comment of that. We're out here in Kauai, and loving it. Have a great day.